Oh Mann. Verdammt. Die Familie ist wirklich nur von Leid. So viel Pech kann kein Mensch haben. Ah, Dawn. Oh, Gas stimmt ja.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
So, ich sag 13, er war 13. Do your worst. Tu dein Schlechtestes. Oh, Mann.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
War das seine Drachenflucht trotz Herzenswut und starrt. Oh nein. Oh nein, bitte nicht.
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I
now
remember.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Versucht war ich, ihn umzustimmen, dass er sie nicht mehr kannte. Wir brauchen keine Stiefmutter, er mich sogleich von dannen sandte. Huch. Ja.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Alter! Das kann nicht gut ausgehen, das kann nicht gut ausgehen.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the
Gänse
tent.
schrien gen Himmel, sie erhoben mit dem Menschen gegen unbekümmert zugleich ins Bett. Da ist er kein... Obwohl, er kann ja vom Blitz getroffen werden. Oder auch mit hinfort. Das ist schön und gleichzeitig so traurig. Ups, oh.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
Keine Angst, egal wie steil und wild das Zelt im Winde sich gab. Oh nein. Ach du Scheiße.
The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power.
Donner grollte
But
viel
all
zu
my
nah
father
und
said was,
unheilvoller Power.
make the music louder.
Mach die Musik doch endlich lauter. Ich wünschte, ich könnte.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
Oh man.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Oh shit. Die Edie habe ich nicht gesehen, noch nicht. Edie, Dawn, Louis. Verdammt. Nur durch ein dummer... Oh Mann. Race Flag 37. Duties, Dawn, Sweep, Trash, Map. Mow, Yard. Be a Baby, Routine, Jump Rope, 100%. Run to Mailbox and back. Okay. Oh, es ist cool.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
Verstehe ich. Ach, hier ist sie hochgezogen. Ja, aber sie war doch gar nicht weit weg, weil da unten war das Zimmer. Ah, von ihrer Schwestern. Ihre Brüder, Entschuldigung.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Oh Gott, oh Gott, oh Gott, oh Gott. Beide Brüder und den Vater verloren. Oh Mann. Thank you. To visit to-dos majors. College. Dawn, Sanjay. Ah, Sanjay war doch ihr Freund. Sanjay.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Hallo, wollt ihr Röscher kaufen? Entschuldigung. Wir haben so Religion, Science, Math, History. 10 ways to teach critical thinking. Ja.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English.
Ist doch gut.
Louis was born a year later.
Und dennoch starben beide Geschwister. Oder zumindest einer verschwand.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go.
Dawn.
I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Das glaube ich auch. Edith.
And to see
Milton.
kids in the house again.
Schön. Minze, Thymian, keine Ahnung, Basilikum.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
Dahinter ist immer noch das alte Haus. Der Flug, der dahinter steckt, immer noch da. Also ein riesen Baumhaus haben die hier gemacht.
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Edith. Louis. Rules. Edith. Barbara, Molly, Sam, Kevin, Gregory, Odin, Sven. Schon damals. Okay. Ah, die hat es selbst unterrichtet. Reading is food. Genau. Sie hat sie schon damals selbst unterrichtet, die
But it
zwei.
didn't last.
Aber es hielt nicht lange an. Classification of living things, Kingdom. The Curse, ja. The Curse. Haben wir die Heilung, die Krankheit? Ich bin mir gar nicht mehr sicher. Observation, Question, Research, Experiment. Relief, Efforts, End in Disaster. Oh. Deswegen. Beim Unglück ist er gestorben. To teach and to learn 7 ways to create a fulfilling classroom. Dawn Finch. Die hat auch ein Buch geschrieben. Okay.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Zum Geburtstag ein Schloss schenkt. Oh. Als Geht's so weiter hoch? Als Edie Milton ein Schloss schenkte. Oh nein. Oh nein.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Aber wo ist er abgeblieben? Oh Mann. So. Hier können wir aber rum. Ich wusste, dass wir hier rein können. One moment, please. Nein. Fußabdrücke. Er hat schon so gut gemalt, der Junge.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
Das stimmt. Ein Frosch. Der war so talentiert. Der war so toll. Das hat er gemacht. Oh Mann, der war so talentiert. Oh Mann, der war so begabt hier.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
That's our pencil. Ich will gar nicht.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Sie war 4, als er verschwand. Louis Dawn, Edie. Oh Mann. Sie war 4, als er verschwand.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Er hat die Tür gemalt. Vielleicht ist er doch irgendwo.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Ist immer Milton im Haus. Der hatte was gefunden im Haus. Whatever Milton find in the house. Sie wollte es unter Verschluss halten, ja.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself.
Louis fühlt sich schuldig. Warum Louis? Why him?
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Louis's room. Except Louis.
Cooles Zimmer. Mit einer Shisha. Stimmt, er würde nur 22 Jahre alt. Da Höhenangst darf mir keine haben. Geht es nicht auf? Warum? Ah, okay. Natürlich. Kann das... Ah, jetzt kann ich rein. Richtig psychedelic.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Dieser Teil lebte weiter, ja, aber es... Am Indischen, ne? Hat er ja gelebt, so. Uiuiui. Eine Wonderland Turbo.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Er starb ständig. An sich das aber schon geil. Die Aussichten hast du, aber der Ruck kann's Spiel und alles. Oh.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
Sein Geist begann umherzuschweben. Oh oh. Ah, als wäre eine Rollenspiel drin. Begann umherzuschlagen.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small. Imagining a labyrinth.
Er stellt sich ein Labyrinth vor.
He'd feel his way about.
Ach du Scheiße. Halt. Nee.
Then something moved. Bats
Fledermäuse.
and toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head.
Das alles 1960 war.
But he took it very seriously.
Oh mein Gott. Sorry.
I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
Alter, ist das geil.
I worried about him then. daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss, but he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis.
Whole new Lewis.
So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
Okay, ja.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis-topia.
Lewis-topia, okay.
He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band.
Okay.
And he was always humming something.
Es summte immer etwas vor sich hin.
Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever.
Hatte unverlässig weiter.
Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won.
Huh.
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on.
Ach so, die Fischhaus.
New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality.
Oh man.
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
Was?
Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
Oh. Hat komplett abgeschaltet.
In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen.
Ach, da kann man selbst entscheiden. Alles interessant. Das war interessant.
The queen was on her own quest for
Na. Leuchtende Regenbögen.
radiant rainbows.
Okay, leuchtenden Regenbögen ist schon... Da. Okay.
He followed the sound of her
Elektrischen Sitar. Silberhaft, oder? Machen wir so.
electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
Trotz allem hat er weiterhin alles wiederholt. Sicher?
He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Er wusste, dass die Welt nur in seiner Fantasie existierte, ja, das ist schon klar.
But he was so proud of having created it.
Alter.